If you've ever watched YouTube, chances are you've come across a video sponsored by Vessi. I've been hearing about them for years now, but pretty much the only place I ever see them are directly from sponsored YouTube videos. And so about a month ago, I was watching a YouTube video that was sponsored by Vessi, and they finally got me. I finally picked up a pair of these to put their claims to the test and see if they're actually worth buying. I picked up the Courtside Classics in black, and these are kind of like a pleather and mesh shoe right here. They kind of look like Vans in a way, and I think these are their newest model. And so in this video, I have 3 big claims that I want to put to the test, and then I also want to find out if these are really worth spending your hard-earned money on, because these were surprisingly expensive, which I'll get to in a little bit. But the first claim I want to talk about, which is pretty much the biggest claim they always talk about all over Vessi's website and in all their sponsorships, they claim that these shoes are 100% waterproof. I mean, even on their website, they literally claim that they're going to replace your rain boots. And so Vessi is very confident that these shoes are 100% waterproof. So I did some tests. I poured water on these, I submerged them pretty much fully in water, and I wiped mud all over these things to figure out how well that all comes off and how well these deter water. And I gotta be honest, the waterproofness of these shoes worked pretty well. It literally just beat it right off. You know, even after smothering these things in mud, most of it just fell right off just from shaking these shoes. And the stuff that stayed on them, I decided to leave on for a few days and see how well it, settled into the shoes. And then a couple days later, I just wiped it off with a wet paper towel and it pretty much all just came right off. And so I gotta say, in my personal testing, the waterproof aspect of these shoes did work surprisingly well. Now, the next claim that I want to put to the test is that these are supposed to be extremely comfortable, and again, the actual wording that they use is that it feels like a cloud or it feels like walking on a cloud. Now here's the thing, in my opinion, comfort is the most important part of a shoe, and that's the part where these shoes really just didn't quite live up to what the expectations were. Now, there were a lot more padded than I thought they would be around the sides and around the top, but I think that kind of ended up being a bad thing because these really squeezed the side of my feet and my toes a lot. I didn't get the wrong size, and I have plenty of toe room. And so if I were to size up, I'd probably have a little bit too much toe room, but they'd fit fine, width-wise. And yeah, besides kind of squeezing my feet, the general comfort, I would give it about a 6 out of 10. They weren't ridiculously uncomfortable or anything like that. If I wear them for just a standard amount of time, go out to the store or something like that, they're completely fine. But this is something that I just don't really agree with all their marketing and talking about their comfort. They're really nothing special. I mean, they're really not even as comfortable as a standard shoe you'd get for like half the price of these. These Vessis just don't really live up to that claim. All right, lastly, I want to talk about if these are worth their price. So these are not at all inexpensive shoes. When I first decided, all right, I think I'm going to order a pair of these and test them out and see what they're like. Before going into it, before knowing anything about the price, I figured they'd be, maybe around $80 or so, like a little bit more than a pair of Vans since they are waterproof. But when I ended up going to the website, these shoes right here were $135. Now, of course, that's before any sponsorship discount, which, pretty much anytime you see these, there is some sort of discount involved. But $135 for a pretty basic looking pair of shoes, that's pretty expensive. And you could seriously get 2 pairs of pretty similar looking shoes for the same price as 1 pair of these. All right, so when it comes to the value for your money, and if I would actually recommend these, that's where it gets a little bit tricky. So in conclusion, here's what I would say. If you're just looking for a pretty decent, comfy pair of shoes to wear, and you're considering these because you saw your favorite YouTuber promote them or you saw them on a sponsored YouTube video, I would probably look somewhere else. Like I said, you could get probably 2 pairs of similarly comfortable and similarly looking shoes for the price of 1 of these. Or you could get 1 much better, much more comfortable pair of shoes, like Adidas Ultra Boost or something like that. However, if the waterproof aspect is the main thing you're thinking of, if you just want a fully waterproof shoe that looks like a regular shoe like these, that's where I'd say you could probably get by with these. Like I said, I'd recommend sizing up and just know that these aren't the most comfortable pair of shoes or anything like that. But the waterproof aspect works pretty well and they just look like normal shoes. They don't look like rain boots or, something that you'd imagine is waterproof. I don't want to say I'd recommend them just because they just weren't that comfortable to me and the value just isn't really there. But that's it for this video. I hope this helped you out. If you've been looking to a pair of Vessi shoes, hopefully this cleared things up for you a little bit. If you do own a pair of these, let me know down in the comments what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.